Hello there.
This is where the fun begins.
Hello there. Slow going.
Look, I don't mean to be rude, but this is not as easy as it looks, so I'd appreciate it if you just wouldn't distract me so.
Sorry.
Thank you.
I do not suppose you could speed things up.
If you're in such a hurry, you could lower a rope or a tree branch or find something useful to do.
I could do that. In fact, I've got some rope right here, but I do not think that you will accept my help, since I am only waiting around to kill you.
Yes, that does put a damper on our relationship.
But I promise I will not kill you until you reach the top.
Well, that's very comforting. I'm afraid you'll just have to wait, though.
I hate waiting. I could give you my word as a Sith.
No good. I've known too many Siths.
You wouldn't happen to know any way that you would trust me?
No, nothing comes to mind.
I swear on the soul of my brother, Savage Opress, that you will reach the top alive.
All right, throw me the rope.
Hello there.
Hello there.
Kyle Katarn here.
On the Bendu.
Going back
Patience.
of Dork.
I was having massive Wi-Fi issues. I was having massive connective issues. But yes, we are here. This
We made it
episode-
at the end. It was the will of the Force.
Thank you all for joining us. This has been quite another chapter in our adventure here together. But yes, whoever did the voiceover for that little clip did an amazing.
It's them. It's them.
Oh, it
It's
is
Sam
them.
Witwer and James Arnold Taylor.
Fucking hilarious.
Yeah, they did the
It
voiceover
was
for the
just like,
dialogue.
it was
for
just like one of
Princess
those interviews where they're like, "Hey, would you read this other cast as these characters just to see?"
Bride. I feel like it's probably a fairly common thing that voice actors get asked to do when they're like
Oh yeah.
signing autographs and stuff. That's how we've got Obi-Wan talking about how he's dummy thick.
Or the SpongeBob SquarePants actor and Patrick, they redid the "You're my brother, Anakin." They did that.
I haven't heard that. That's amazing. We need to listen to that. We have a special guest today that I'm very excited to talk about. He is our very good friend and the architect behind the crazy story of Showdown on Ice Ball
The
Station.
true
I'm
game
talking
man.
about GM Lurch Lurchington himself. Welcome.
We're gonna go straight into
Hey guys,
Yeah.
how y'all doing?
Not too bad.
been a while.
Story builder.
It has been a while.
Oh,
Although to the nice ladies and gentlemen at home, it hasn't been that long at all because every couple Fridays a new ice ball's been dropping, and we've been hearing the story of our brave little band told in your dulcet tones as we what's going on right now. I think Narset Jin is on her Salvax journey still. See, the thing people don't
I feel like at this
necessarily
point,
know is that we
it's-
played this a
it's
long
reaching
time ago.
the end of it.
It's
You know, it's like I know that trip took a while, but like
it's been
we
it's
started.
been
all-
yeah, it's been years. It's been like a year and a half.
It was
2
New
years
Year's
since
of
we started,
2021,
Yeah.
2 sessions ago.
Yeah, so about a year and a half. Yeah, since we played that. I mean, the pacing of the whole campaign sort of seemed to be out of all of it, you know, the sort of thing that hangs on the most. Your journey with the Salvex ended up taking like the entire rest, you know, of the campaign. I would have liked
I mean, it was
to have
supposed to
you-
be 2 Jedi also originally to take this journey, and then one of the Jedi was like, "You know what? I'm going to sponsor a race."
But that's the thing, is that that was totally fine. Is that really, I went into season 1 like, I have a story, but it's the Star Wars, right? So the whole idea for the story that I came up with is it's about 3 seasons worth of stuff. So season 1 really could just be devoted to getting to know your characters
And the dice system.
and you're right, and the dice system. FFG is very different from like regular D20 or really any just game system that uses numbered dice. So
yeah, to everyone listening, all the dice that we use for the RPG, because you're not always necessarily able to see it in the Iceball Station episodes, but each of the dice has a very specific color and a very specific fucking like set of symbols. So it's like you're not able to always easily gauge what your successes and failures are, but at the same time, the dice does make it easier having symbols.
Once you learn those symbols, though, it's so much like I don't know. It's easier to interpret in a way
once you learn it.
And the difficulty levels like change the color of the dice.
Yeah. Fantasy Flight Games
yellow
created this proprietary system that they first rolled out as their Star Wars gaming system, Age of Rebellion and Edge of the Empire, and then they created their generic no IP, you can use it for whatever sort of genre you want version Genesis. And I really do like the Star Wars system, but it's huge because they made like a comprehensive Star Wars RPG that was so big that it's multiple game systems that are all interchangeable just to cover the themes of the types of games that Star Wars players might want to play.
And we have a good mishmash of both of those two games, both of those two books you just held up, Age of Rebellion and Edge of the Empire, in our campaign, right?
Yeah, I should have grabbed a Force and Destiny book instead. They're over there and my headset will come unplugged if I go and grab one. But yes, we have Jedi, so we're using Force and Destiny characters because Age of Rebellion and Edge of the Empire, which deal with Rebels and the war part of Star Wars and the crime and space western part of Star Wars, and each have enough character classes for a full-fledged RPG system.
Right.
And enough books for both of those two games. There's also a third game, Force and Destiny.
I don't know if everyone gets that necessarily. The FFG system has, you can have an entire party of underworld characters that have diverse classes to each other and have an underworld themed campaign or completely rebellion themed. And every single person in your party can be just a member of the rebellion, but the classes will bear no similarity to each other whatsoever.
Correct.
It will be such versatile gameplay. It really is an achievement.
It's the class tiers. It's the class and the skill set tiers is what really helps.
The careers and the specializations. Exactly. Everybody picks a career, and the careers and specializations are all split off by books, and those give you your talents, which allow you to do additional things. But in its base, it's still a very regular RPG because you still have your core abilities that you derive your skills from. It just has to do with buying dice and upgrading dice to get better hands and then better chances of overall success on your rolls versus accruing more bonuses to make a number go higher to go over the threshold for success on a roll. Instead, the roll has a difficulty, and that might have negative outcomes because the positive dice have successes and advantages and triumphs. And then the negative dice have your failures and your threats and your despairs. So you might have more successes than failures and succeed. And you might have more advantages than threats and succeed with advantage, but you might have a despair that doesn't get canceled out at all and something else negative happens. And that kind of makes it a game where I get to play in this system in a way
as
that
game master,
when you're
just something that strengthens
in D&D, you have the story you're telling, and maybe you're
I get to move the goblins. It's not enough.
Maybe you're freestyling, and that's fun. And like GM's freestyle, and I freestyle, but this system is built for that because the dice are going to give me I'm going to roll for
narratively
the
what
bad
you
guys and get trials,
Yeah,
or
especially
you're
when
going to
you
get
like
threats.
three successes, but with a failure at the end of it. So you're able to then, not dictate
Exactly.
necessarily, but you're
And
able to interpret and storytell based off that of like, okay, well, the character was able to get what they wanted done, but the way that they went about getting it done was completely different. Whereas, like, yeah, this is like, now in hindsight, this system is really cool with using with force powers in mind. This system is more emphasis of using your powers to manipulate the environment around you in order to like interact with NPCs versus D&D, which I think was my initial issue.
Where you're casting something that's going to affect them.
Whereas D&D is like, okay, cool, I have Frost Ray, which specifically does this thing, which specifically does X amount of damage. So D&D is very much more like point A to point B directed, whereas this system and another RPG that I was kind of looking into called Mutants and Mayhem looks at your powers and your abilities as to like, okay, you have the like grappling hook, for example. We'll say Zeef has a grappling hook, and like,
Zeef's got a grappling hook. Actually,
so this system's like, all right, well, Zeef can either shoot the bad guy with his grappling hook, or Zeef can grapple hook the fucking ceiling, pull the ceiling down, and have the ceiling do the damage, versus Zeef individually trying to do the damage.
The cool thing about the dice is that because you get the success with threats or like a triumph, but with like, advantage, it gives you kind of like the basic framework for how to construct the dressing, if you will, as the GM, of like how to describe
because
how the action plays out.
It tells you, okay, there is this much extra sauce that you can put on this. And also, you don't always have to make it very narrative. Sometimes you do just use those advantage to recover some strain.
Something very technical, yeah.
Exactly. And just use it for action economy or, to do something mechanical. But it also, like, there's whole tables to help, because it's an RPG. So it's full of tables and stuff like that, which, like, help out like that. But story-wise, I liked the idea of dropping you guys in there, and it was all about being in and on Iceball and seeing what part of the world your characters wanted to interact with so that I could get to know them. Because it was your first time with the new system, and it was your first time with these characters, and you don't really know your character.
And you really don't know as a first level player, it was hard to know the choices that I was making and how they were actually going to play out in like the long-term gameplay of
we
what I
didn't
was.
have a long play test. We played like one module where you guys were already kind of built up. What'd you say?
I was reading a comment, and I was like, that's super cool. That's amazing. Yes, we are completely. You came to the right episode. This is RPG. This is the RPG episode. Last episode was the cosplay episode. This time we're talking about world building and game playing.
Yeah.
You got it. Oh, I have thoughts about heavy metal. We're going to be talking about heavy metal by the
I haven't watched that trailer yet.
You haven't? Oh, cool. Well, I've got it in the can. We can watch it here.
I have not.
Awesome.
I have not.
Yeah, Sam wanted to know, is that a Sith holocron, Bendu?
It's an obelisk. It is a Sith obelisk.
Where'd you get that Sith obelisk?
That we purchased when we went to Galaxy's Edge.
Nice.
Hey, look at it glowing.
It is blinking very ominously. Yes, that is the darkness surging.
It contains the soul of two loudmouth rednecks.
Yep, exactly. The holocrons were cool, but I saw the obelisk next to it, and I was like, that's so much more badass.
That's awesome.
Look at that shit.
Well, hello there, Master Silver Star.
Oh, that's right.
Iceball gang.
Havoc.
We got another one. Yes, now all we need to get is Dan up in here.
You know what? I'm gonna
poke on your laptop.
I'm poking him via
we'll throw
Discord.
you if you want to join, I'll throw you an invite link. Just let me know.
Get in here, and we'll have 3 players. We'll have 3 players and the DM. But yeah, that also.
You want me to poke Dan?
So Lurch Lurchington, because of the versatility of the dice, and because of the way the dice are able to like build the narrative for you. 2 questions. 1, how often are you able to play the Star Wars games as a player versus you being the storyteller? And 2, how much do you enjoy more being the storyteller, since the dice really helps you season your crab meat?
I'm
You had to,
I'm
didn't you?
the guy who's always the DM. And it's been that way for years and years now. I got to play this as the player when the system was introduced to me by a buddy. So I started out RPGing in high school with some guys I knew back then, and then I played a little bit in college, and then I played rugby, and I played rugby after college. And right around the time I was retiring from doing that, one of my teammates introduced me to this system. So I played in his game for a little while, and then since then I've just run it. But
Do you remember what your character was, or what your class?
I was a clone. I was.
Oh,
so there was no clone veteran universal specialization that was introduced in the Dawn of Rebellion Splat book. That is the era book for Rogue One and Rebels. But I was like a mercenary soldier from the Edge of the Empire book, because that's the only book we had. He had it, and I went out and bought a copy immediately, and I built a clone. And then War Mistress came and jumped in as an NPC. And then I hurt my back, and I didn't play rugby, and I got into a different job and didn't play anymore. And
Life happens that way.
Exactly.
Sometimes.
Life happened. I moved away from that, but I did this, and I just ran this. And so I've been the GM since before then. I was the GM in college, and I was the GM even in high school after I started playing. I like coming up with the ideas for all of that and facilitating the stuff for the other guys.
For all those listening and watching, also something else that makes Lurchington a wonderful DM is the fact that he's not the type of DM who's just there to fucking collect character sheets. He's not the asshole who's just like, all right, how am I going to kill my players today?
This system makes it hard.
It's about the story, man. It's about the fucking story, and really, like, create world building. It really is about the world building. And
well, there are systems for
that.
Like I'll also run a game of Paranoia if you want.
Shout out to the West End Games.
I'll run a game of Paranoia where you roll up a clone and you come with a 6-pack. And I expect at least one player in that party to have lost a clone to a clerical error or party infighting, and somebody to have picked up one of their backup clones before they ever leave like the briefing area and actually roll out on their troubleshooting mission. And if they haven't, then I haven't instigated that within the party hard enough, because that's what Paranoia is about. Is that you roll up a clone knowing you've got a 6-pack, and that means you've got 5 backups. And if you've got one backup in the slot behind you at the end of this group of sessions, then you're ahead of the curve. And if not, then you still had fun playing it, because that's what that game's about. But this is a game that is about making a story together with the GM and the players, and that's what this system talks about in its books. And it's very hard to kill you guys anyway. I got to knock you all the way down to the bottom, and then I have to roll a crit on a D100 with a number higher than 150, which means I need bonuses on my guy or his weapon, or you need crits ahead of time, and then you die, and then you can still be plopped in a back-to-tank and have it removed, or use a force power, or whatever, because it's Star Wars, so even if I run a lightsaber through you and cut you in half and drop you down a very dark hole, unless I see your body go in the lava and not crawl out, you might not come back as a cyborg later. Yeah, like
it's true. I can attest that if I Zeef Cold Hands Fleegman can roll the dice and somehow survive in this universe, it is hard to die.
Yeah,
I mean, you did like, yeah. There you go.
Hey. Welcome.
Hey,
good to see you guys.
Jedi Master.
This is great. This is a little reunion right here.
Yeah.
Before we go too much further into Iceball nonsense, it's possible, however unlikely, that someone out there is watching this who has not seen Showdown on Iceball Station and doesn't know who the hell.
I feel like a lot of you potentially have not, but at the same time, this episode is just going to hype you all up to like watch the whole thing.
As a little treatment, here's our RPG that we got together and played. This is our beautiful group. Look at these guys. This is the party.
This is the party.
We are questing our way across Ice Ball, a little frozen, well,
These
an
are
ice.
my precious babies. And my boy Stomper.
Absolutely.
Stomper-
Stomper's kind of the hero. So this is Zeef.
So
This
many
is me.
people.
I'm a marshal, and Stomper is my sidekick right there.
You were a private eye at first.
Yeah.
This is
I
Narset
like the
Jin
marshal
right here,
pivot.
played by the Bendu, Arcanian Jedi Knight.
Right.
Yeah.
Messing
Raised
things
by,
up for
raised by
everyone.
witches. Raised by fucking
Raised
witches.
by witches. Yeah.
On Dathomir. Yep, that's right.
Yep.
We have the
Season 2, we'll
illustrious
go back and visit the
Zavix
coven.
Silver Star, who bears a striking resemblance. Nice with the saber. Yes.
Wow.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, he
it's
was
beautiful.
ready. He was
It's
ready.
beautiful.
Yeah, mine's in the closet.
He's the fucking flyest Jedi in 3 systems.
I can't
mean, just
wait
look
to
at
run
that
the Galaxy
Hands
next.
down.
We're gonna take
Hands
it over.
down.
You were sent there to supervise this Jedi Knight on a mission and ended up like gambling,
Totally forgot.
organizing and promoting an event.
Totally forgot.
Well,
Make
she
these-
went on the mission completely on her own.
I had no idea where I was going with that at first, but I decided I just want to kind of have some fun with it. And Lurch, you had such a good system when it came to like gambling and having fun with that. And then I remember turning on my lightsaber sometime after a game and just
Fucking up,
being
man.
like, oh, I guess we're going through this.
Right off.
Yeah,
Fucking
I'll roll
sucks.
with whatever. Like
Yeah.
that's my idea. Is that like they're your characters and I'm the GM, right? And we're doing it live because it's being recorded, and we're not going to do a second take because it's an RPG. That's not how that happens.
Right.
So I'm going to roll with it, you know. And if you're like,
And
no,
that's
now we
kind of
pop the
where
lightsaber. Okay, I'll hold on, pause while I explain what the die roll is going to be and what the possible consequences might be.
Yeah.
Guitar,
But
you should
go
sure be
right
a
ahead. Go ahead. We're all adults here. You know what I
That's
mean?
kind of
Like,
part of the magic of doing it live as well, is that like part of the fun is us progressing the story, but also part of the fun is that when the GM gets hit with a curveball, because it doesn't happen often. There's a lot of planning to try and avoid that. So when it does, it's kind of a watchable moment. It's like when an actor flubs a
there's
line. in a
sometimes
play,
that
you know?
I've just
Go back to
I
the Zeep
will
and
just get
Stomper
that
picture.
spin on my face, and then okay, we're rolling with it. Let's do it. But that's what it is, you know. I put the casino there. So
Also,
we'll have a casino. Let's
Dan's
do
not
it.
here right now. He's off flying the Bat4 leaf, but he is the other member of our party.
Yeah.
Warham of
Yeah,
High
Captain Warham.
He's
Yeah.
a captain of a ship, and we'll be playing. I guess I could say this is kind of a tease. More of a central role in the story. That's
second
my
season.
understanding of the
Yeah,
second season.
he went from like so. That's sort of like the sleepers, that he's your couch jockey and like number 2 mechanic for season 1,
My
and
sidekick.
then pivot to season 2. Now you're the sidekick, and he's the guy who's got stuff going on off planet. And
Right.
season 2 will be a lot more galaxy hopping and arc based. So if season 1 plays out like a book where the story has unfolded across the whole of the campaign and the whole of the episodes in the season, instead of having, okay, we go on a little side quest and it's done. We did a little bit of that, but really Narset's quest took the latter 2/3 of the story. Zavix and building the race took like most of the arc, and then culminated at
Right.
the end of it, and everything sort of ended because I was thinking in terms of it's like a book. Season 2, in terms of pacing and what we'll be doing, is more of like a season of a TV show where we're going to be going to different planets every couple of sessions. We're going to have story arcs built around a couple of sessions going to a couple of planets, and then that story arc is over. We progress time and we deal with a new story arc on a new set of planets. You can still go where you want if you decide to. I'll still have hooks out there to catch you if you look for them. But otherwise, there again will still be a story set, but your characters will be in it, and I'll be reacting to what you do, hoping if you guys want to engage with the story I'm telling, you can. And if you go on a side quest, I'll go with it. But that'll end at the end of it, and then we'll go back to the railroad we were on and go into this
Sure.
arc again off of that side arc. And we'll go through a couple of arcs that will build a story across all of them, and then the season will be over. And more like a TV show instead of the book.
Exactly.
A bit
It's like
snappy.
being a little boat in a river. You know, we can
Yeah,
go
a
side
bit
to
of a-
side. You're deciding that the water is
Pacing.
still all going one direction.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, a fucking Kraken shows up. But yeah, droid herder, mandatory gonk for sure. Actually, everyone that we met at Star Wars Celebration, Stomper was actually on a bunch of Katarn stickers that we were handing out.
It's true. We handed out a bunch of Stomper merch.
So a lot of people now know who Stomper is, but not know who Stomper actually is.
The largest gonk
Very
on my
few
shelf
gonk
is
droids have a
actually-
name.
It's written on them, Orabesh, right there on his
exactly.
chassis. This is the Stomper. And my dream for Stomper, and I don't know, I feel like it's okay to say this because I don't even know if it's gonna happen because it's up to the dice. Is that I want to give I'm a marshal, so I'm fighting crime. He's my sidekick, and he's gonna be my rolling cover. I'm gonna get him Beskar plated so he can waddle in front of me during a firefight.
You get behind
and just
him,
take all the
return
cover,
fire.
and I can just be like with
love
my
it.
little Relby V10.
I would love to see
Yeah,
you deputize Gonk and just have
Yes,
him.
Deputy Gonk.
Just be
First
right
you have
behind
to
him.
free
Okay,
him.
let's go. Ready to breach on your mark. Like,
You got to upgrade his programming so that he's a little bit more independent. But Deputy Gonk,
get him some whistling birds. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah, dude. Even the Astromech in the Visions episode was able to help out Ronan. He
Well,
shot out those
I
flares.
mean,
Yeah.
So Stomper did upgrade, and you did get him that internal. He's got 3 rockets inside.
He's got a
him
little
right now.
hand with a gat that comes out now. as well.
Right. Instead of installing, instead of paying the extra couple hundred credits to like have it installed as a component of him, you're just like, no, can we just buy it? And he holds it, and he's like, yeah, he just holds it in his little hand.
Hold it in his little manipulator arm that he's got.
Right, and then he has to bring
yeah,
it back in, and then he can bring his arm back out. Exactly. So he's
I'm gonna
got
come back
like
to the ship. He's gonna be wearing like a fucking bandana, like
little rocket gun. Yeah. Well, I mean, Stomper's just as much a character as anybody.
It's true.
So.
And it's kind of nice to be able to leave my main character at home and let the droid go with other characters off on an adventure sometimes.
It's
just
true.
There were some
Stomper
sessions
had
where I
a lot
just
of-
controlled the gonk, and that was really challenging and limiting and in kind of a fun way.
Stomper had a lot of individual what's the word? I can't fucking think of what the thing is. He had his own story arcs and his own activities.
He did.
He hung out with
He wanted
Did
he wanted that rocket gun.
on N7.
Yeah, he was sweet talking.
Was it coincidence or was
yeah.
it deliberate that in the same session that Narset struck out with Quintera, Stomper got laid?
There was no struck out.
It was the same episode.
We left that
Guys,
up to yeah.
Well, that's my
camera cut
headcanon
before
anyway.
Yeah, exactly. The
They
camera,
were in a
the
walker
camera cut off
in the
before
frozen wastes.
we went any
warm.
further with
There
that.
was canoodling and there was a
Doesn't
camera
mean
wipe.
playing.
That's all we know.
Exactly.
Okay?
That is
mean-
canonically how that went down because this is a Star Wars. So the most you get is like a passionate kiss in a service corridor.
Yep.
And that allows you to infer or not infer.
Well, who knows?
Yeah.
Man? We
You know,
haven't seen
Ben
space toilets
Solos
recently.
that you
The sky's the limit.
want.
Dude, you know something I also realized? Narset never really said goodbye.
No,
That's
you
so
just
nar-
get
that's
that
so
like a
Narset.
Jedi.
Unless
No attachments.
with us. No, I'll say when we start season 2, I'll just preface with like
You
Narset
Irish goodbye an entire planet, dog.
or like they did say goodbye. It was just off camera.
So
We'll just put that in the preface, and then the other part of the preface will be that the Silver Star family sent off bounty hunters to find Zavix because Zavix is using family money but doesn't want to be part of the family business.
It'll be hella
we
funny
might
if they had gotten the wrong idea and they
we
think that we,
might-
his traveling companions, have held him hostage somehow
we
because
might
we're such
have
ridiculous types.
a Silver Star arc in season 2. So the plan is to have
Zavix, Silver
a
stolen.
couple of arcs that are just about the storyline, and then I've already got built in and scripted so that you guys don't have to go off on the rail after your own shit. There's already a pre-written go in a Pantora Silver Star arc that might have stuff done, and there's a arc that is in my notes. It is titled "How Narset Got Her Spook Back."
Interesting.
Night Sister Act.
I know where that's going. Yeah, I dig it.
Yeah.
I dig that a lot.
So
I would
we'll
be-
do our
I have-
Dathomir, we'll do our Pantora. We might go to Naboo. You know,
Man, bro.
do some
I mean,
hungry
Naboo's a
stuff.
big ass planet. We don't have to go to Thebes. Like we can
No,
go.
absolutely not. So,
Yeah.
No, we got to go to the little bunker where the blue shadow virus was being made.
right, the other flip from season 1 existing just on a planet literally called Iceball, because I never came up with any better designation for it, that exists nowhere and just to be a city for our
That would be
game.
cool.
Every
Bro,
place
we went
for
to Dayu?
season 2
That could be one of the planets from
will
Kenobi.
be various. So it's all already done. So ideas for season 2 are, I'm glad we did this now, because season 2 is all already pre-production with my arcs. I came up with many more arcs than I have now. I already pared them down and I already rearranged the order. So suggestions for season 2 are non-par at this point in terms of locations we might go to. I will say that all of the places we go to exist in Wikipedia.
Oh, nice. I'm pretty sure Spider's dead, Spencer Pollock.
Spider got shot in the back. Oh, that hasn't aired yet. So
Yeah.
spoilers.
Oh,
the end of
nice.
season 1 hasn't come out yet. Yeah. So
Well, the thing is, have you ever tried to kill a spider and then like you turn around and the body's just
yeah,
gone?
well, again, right. So the
Like,
last we saw of Spider,
maybe he's
he
gone.
wasn't doing too well. But Admiral Trench got blown up and then came back as an even more.
You never know. If we may have to
Spider.
fight Cyber Spider in
So
season 2. You
Spencer's
never know.
here and he's been acknowledged. Let me give a shout out to the
My
YouTube
God,
comments
that's fucking
crew.
hilarious.
Let me give a shout out to the YouTube comments crew.
That's
The
fucking-
few of you who've commented on one or more videos, some of you all of them,
Love that.
because this is the first time I've ever done this for an audience bigger than just the people at the
Playing
table
it, yeah.
I'm at.
Oh,
And
yeah.
maybe some people who are in like a larger hall-like room also doing gaming and not paying attention. And that is a thing that I very much had anxiety about, even though I am a gregarious guy who GMs a lot and I put my points into the charisma stat. I'm big and I've got charisma.
I'm wearing the Ewok hat.
That doesn't
God damn it.
mean that I'm not like sick to my stomach before we roll and stuff, because I don't do this often and it's not my career in any way. And
You're
it's
also on East Coast time. You're also out of all of us. You're in fucking Maryland. Out of all
going
places.
on
Some
11
of our
o'clock
listeners-
here,
some of our
but
watchers
that's
and
fine.
listeners are East Coast,
It's all right. I'll drink an extra cup of coffee tomorrow at work, and it's fine. It's fine. I was just a guy in the comments who talked about his Star Wars RPG game, and Kyle said, "Hey, I want to do a Star Wars RPG game," and you're the guy who's always talking about it. And I freaked out and called my wife in the middle of the day and went,
That's
Oh my
Kenny.
God.
What happened?
I'm a guy who watches
fucking
YouTube.
YouTube guy. Fucking
I'm
missed
a guy who watches YouTube, and you're a guy who is on YouTube. That's an interaction barrier that you reached across, and for me to be on this side of it is not something I do regularly. So right now I'm rambling about it, for example.
Well, I'm glad you're on this side, man. It was the best decision I could have made. Like,
So
you
shout out to all the guys who
such a good
comment,
story.
because
Sorry, go for it, yeah.
my panic is that nobody's even going to watch anyway. You know what I mean? It's like, ooh,
Right.
what if they watch and they see that I dragged out this campaign over like a year and a half when it could have been done in like 3 months, kind of thing, and it's a million episodes and I need an editor or whatever. Like that's the story of my life, though. So you're just seeing me up there anyway. So, but the guys who comment or whatever, people are watching. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But it's also freaky sometimes.
It's speaking of the comment game, we should give it's worth giving some specific accolades out here. Mr. Spencer Pollock, you have been there and commented on every single episode of Iceball Station so far.
We should pivot to the brain machine from that. In
Definitely,
general,
yeah.
because he's an
Oh,
agent
fucking-
of.
Is it
You're a
Rogue?
paid actor who's an agent of Pablo Hidalgo.
I was like,
Okay,
Spencer, I don't know if you know this, but
That's
Lurch has
what it
theories
is.
about you.
I am paranoid about this because I got this Star Wars game and I go back to RPGing after a long time and I start pulling out tropes out of my pocket from stuff that I like and new stuff entirely. And then these guys roll out this Mandalorian show.
That's what it
And,
was.
like,
That's what
half
the
of the
was.
stuff,
Well, and
half
Rebels
of the
too.
stuff on the show is stuff that I did in my
That's
RPG like 2 years before. and that made me a little paranoid. And there's multiple specific examples.
They get creepy specific too.
Right. So my wife makes a character for the campaign, and it's a Twi'lek. And we argue back and forth about the canonity of different colors of Twi'leks, and we go in and we pull out EU, and we go, okay, Twi'leks can be whatever color you want. She really wants to be a purple Twi'lek who deals with knives and is a rogue. And then season 1 of Mandalorian rolls around, and we get Nymphadora Tonks playing a purple Twi'lek who's a rogue full of knives.
She was like a purpley pink.
She was like a lavender. She wasn't like purple. She wasn't.
Yeah, no. The albino Twi'lek I was thinking of was from
Xi'an. The rogue girl. She was. So we get that. Okay, fine, whatever.
I mean, like my character was kind of based out of what came out of the season 2. Like, I'm the marshal of a small remote location. Dude, doing an armor-based melee build. I'm basically Cobb Vanth before Cobb Vanth came out in season 2, and I know he was already there in the Aftermath novel.
Iceball Station is literally the whole planet that Mando goes to multiple times because. So we've got
Navarro.
No, not Navarro. Iceball is like the ice planet where he fights the spiders. And then also that dock side where he crashes and there's the Mon Cal technician.
That's
those
totally
two locations, like that's Iceball. That's the whole of what I came up with.
Yeah.
And again, I had a campaign set on a Gazanti freighter. And then we get inside a Gazanti freighter in Mando season 2. I had a party do the KOTOR thing and blow up a crate dragon. And then
I can't remember where we used it, but where it was. But we saw Captain Worm's V-35 speeder made an appearance somewhere. Even
yes, we get that. Just the abuse of that poor fishman that Horatio Sands played. His speeder felt so like the poor tail of the V-35, just getting crunched over and over again. It was. But it was beautiful in a way.
Or all the Pantera stuff? Or not
it was
Pantera.
good. But then we go to Pantora. Right. Pantora. So it was great. Right as I start doing the pre-production for season 2, and I'm like, there's like no location shots of Pantora.
Until there fucking was.
Then we go there in Bad Batch, and we spend the whole episode.
That's right, David, you've seen that episode, right?
Again.
I think I'm going to have to watch Bad Batch then.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, there's an episode where they go there and you get to just see all the Pantorans.
Dude.
Ooh, they went back. They went back and dealt with the governor guy. Yeah, so they go to Pantora twice, and we get to see Pantoran architecture and the layout of the city and like what it looks like in a city on Pantora.
All the blue people.
Honestly, David, you would enjoy Bad Batch regardless, especially if you liked the other animated shows, because like the animation is just like
so
that
clean.
much more polished.
All the dirt, all the rust.
N4 and I have been playing the Star Wars Heroes game on for the app and whatnot.
Oh, the Galaxy of Heroes,
and that'll pull in characters from all that stuff. Yeah,
that's the one.
Nice.
I've been playing a lot. Not buying into it as much, but definitely giving it a good go. And I'm seeing all the characters, everybody from Omega, the Bad Batch group, and I was like, man, I don't know anything about them. There was one character that I was kind of curious about, Sorty. On there's an unlockable character, and I just can't place where I've seen her before. But she's a droid, gambling kind of droid, but autonomous. But I just don't know anything about. You guys know?
What's her name?
5-ORT or Sorty, I think.
5-ORT.
Let me pull up the character, see if I can find it on. Oh. You're going to love my guild name, too.
Oh, what is it?
Oh, well, this is called Qatar Reactions.
Can't see.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
It spreads. It spreads like a holy fire.
What's the droid called?
Yeah, 50R-T.
50R-T.
If any of you guys online know,
I'm looking right now.
Now, Sorty was there. Oh shit! Okay, yeah, I remember. I saw an ad for that. So she's based off of the Gemini droids from Star Wars: The Old Republic. In the Knights of the Fallen Empire expansion,
So they're the several thousand years in the past equivalent of what N4 would be the modern era. Yeah.
Yes.
Looks droid. I'm
That's-
having a hard time finding a picture.
Okay, so fully up.
The
Yeah,
Eternal Throne uses a massive fleet of starships, and they're mostly piloted by these Gemini droids. And so they have like a cerebral, like a mind link, and they're all getting
Oh,
orders.
is it this one?
No,
That's the not looking motherfucker.
That's
so
Clink.
she was
No,
like
it's
a-
literally 5OR-T.
Dash. Oh, I
Okay,
said
yeah.
T.
So she was a super tactical droid who has become a gambler and is an yeah. I mean, you
Totally
can
like a
get-
Gemini Prime
Yeah,
kind of
I'm
thing.
still not getting a picture.
So that's
5ORTE isn't. Yeah, I'm not getting a picture.
I just
I'll
posted
pull it up.
a thing in the chat.
I can share a
Yep.
picture if I drag
Yeah,
it
share a picture.
away.
it's in the Discord.
5OR.
God,
Oh,
where
there
did
it is.
I download that too? Oh, what do you know?
I am team fully autonomous and upgraded
Yeah,
droids.
oh, that's
so
fully-
I think
That's totally
the-
from.
What? How can you be team
Galaxy
fully
Hero.
autonomous droids? Did you even watch Battlestar Galactica?
I mean, I think any kind of sapient slavery is morally abhorrent. So if you're going to
Yes.
create sentient sapient,
Why not build our own slaves? No, that does make perfect
artificial
sense.
intelligence, right? They're just slaves. So I think upgrading and liberating N4 from being like part of a package deal of hostesses with protocol droid programming, into, a fully independent party member is absolutely something that we could and will engage with during season.
It's one of my
2.
favorite sci-fi concepts outside of Star Wars to play with. Is like, it's like the cornerstone of Philip K. Dick's writings. It's like, at what points does artificial intelligence turn into proper sentience?
iRobot.
At what point does that have rights? At what point can you consider yourself to be alive?
Fucking
Um,
Bicentennial Man was all about that shit.
Yeah, oh yeah,
In this
it's
game,
one of like the oldest sci-fi
in-
concepts to
Yeah.
explore, and Star Wars doesn't really explore it. They kind of tiptoe around it.
They could
They
though.
kinda-
They say
Right,
that the
right.
Totally could.
personality is. They say that the personality is built from not wiping your droid's memory.
Yeah, personality like builds up over time, like you're
Yeah,
accruing it.
like
Like
Rust.
But then
like
you
Rust.
get IG-11 coming back and being retaught versus C-3PO's head gets knocked off, plugged into a battle droid, but he still doesn't have control of it, and it's following the battle droid orders, even though
Right.
the battle droid knocked onto his head is also somehow following battle droid orders, even though it's not on the network, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. It's just a story, and it's going to happen in whatever ways the most funny or dramatic or
I've seen it
whatever
executed in a
is
really
going
good
on.
way. I've seen it executed in a kind of a ham-fisted way, and like
Yeah, what was Lando's droid's name in the solo?
L337.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
And
was,
see,
I have issues with that. My issue with that is that they almost turned it, like trivialized it and made it into a joke.
Well,
Oh,
right,
yeah.
right. They made the character about that. We finally get it. So
Yes.
we finally get a droid on screen that has female programming that's identified as a female droid. We finally get a droid or any character that's acknowledging droid slavery. We get a droid who is actively fighting against it, and then they just drive it down your throats until you're tired of it, and then kill
And
her
then they kill her.
and
Well, they
fridge
turn her into
her
yes.
and make her an object that is passed on to somebody else in a fucking card game. And now
Yeah.
it's just to excuse a line of dialogue in Empire, and we've created and fridged a character in one
Yeah,
movie, which basically goes, if this is what you're about, you've got one character that's about, and she dies, and now she's an object who never gets to speak.
And there you go.
again.
Now you're represented.
And that's the story of that character who cares about that. So
It's
we've
pretty
got a
messed up.
different story where we can put a little droid engineering into getting N4 a little bit more full programming, because right now she's kind of the hostess
Right.
equivalent of like a battle droid where she's
Eventually.
networked to this hotel, and putting some more service updates and better programming packages in her will
Right.
unlock
Putting
the
the Mind
ability
Stone.
to Right.
I know that. I know David's
If
got to
you
get going.
Right. If you
Guys,
free it,
thank
I
you
gotta
for,
get
thank
going.
you for
See you,
stopping
man.
by,
For
man.
having me on. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.
So yeah,
we gotta
catch up
have you
more
back on
with
soon
Fennec
for like a proper
Silverstar's
discussion.
backstory when you rewatch all of Iceball Station, and then tune in because you'll see Zavix again when we eventually do season 2. So
Yes. See you, man.
Cool. And say hi to N4 for us.
Yes.
Will do. Cheers, guys.
Cool.
But yeah, like I took all of those threads from season 1 that were left over about Zavix and his family relationship and Narset and the fact that she kind of did all this work and dipped out, but we'll get some closure. We'll get closure
she's
or
still having
continuance
visions
of those various threads. Exactly. And it'll all continue to play out through season 2 because again, season 1, while still having its own story about building this race and you helping that tribe there, and at the end of season 1 will be over, but it's still just season 1 of the 3 seasons of the story as well. So the larger story is just starting, and
maybe
I'm
ultimately it was the
that.
Force. It was the Force trying to bring the party together with Zeef and Warham versus initially thinking that the Force was being, or the planet was calling the Force, or using the Force to call the Jedi, because we're going to do a lot of really important planetary stuff with Warham and a lot of Viva Revolution sort of things. So it's going to be a lot.
Exactly.
Kyle Bendu, what are your thoughts on the new Dungeons and Dragons movie trailer?
First off, I'd rather you say it correctly the way that it is typed, because
I'm never saying it correctly again. I'm only going to call it Dugions and Dragons.
Makes me think of pigeons. So
Pigeons and Dragons.
Is fucking hilarious and terrifying all at the
Do
same
you know
time.
about the Dungeons and Dragons?
Dungeons and Dragons. When I first saw that trailer, I was really worried that it was a prank. I thought it was a joke at first, but then I was like, you know what? It's Chris. It's fucking Captain Kirk, and
he would totally get in on a joke like that.
It's fucking Michelle Rodriguez, out of all people, playing a half.
I'm stoked, man. I think
playing a half orc, but it's fucking stoked. The fact that one of the main party people is a tiefling. Granted, she's definitely more on the human genetics side of the tiefling versus
tiefling
non-human player character crew representation. I'm so happy that in our game we had no humans. So
that's true. We have a completely non-human party. That's worth mentioning. No humans at all in the main party of our
Iceball. 2 characters who could pass. Yeah, for Iceball, no humans, which is nice. But the level of Dungeons and Dragons in that trailer of stuff that was the way it was because it's Dungeons and Dragons, right? How many times have you seen a dragon shoot a fireball, right?
Right.
But we get a Dungeons and Dragons trailer where we've got a dragon not shooting a fireball because it's not a red dragon, so it's not.
The black dragon, dude? Yeah, shooting the sludge, the fucking explosive sludge. Yeah,
like just that, and they put that in the front where people who aren't D&D people are gonna go, that's different.
Huh. Yeah, what's going on with that dragon?
People who are D&D are going to be like, they fucking knew. All right, they know. They showed.
It was their dog whistle to the players. It was their dog whistle to the players that this is going to involve mechanics and rules that you're familiar with.
If I don't see some blue lips, I'm going to be fucking pissed.
I know. I want Damodar, man. I want Damodar to come back. God, his acting.
Blood will rain from the sky.
Doesn't matter.
Rain from the sky. It's too good. It's too good.
Even if it's a bad Dungeons and Dragons movie, we're just gonna have another bad Dungeons and Dragons movie.
That bad Dungeons and Dragons movie is fucking great. It's so much fun to laugh your way through. Jeremy Irons knows exactly what he's doing. It was pretty clear to him that it was a shitty movie, and he's like, "Well, I'm just gonna have some fun with this and shoot scenery." As much as I can.
I'm a evil warlock that's trying to resurrect dragons. Okay, fucking.
I do agree with you. I do, and I'm one of the people that likes to make fun of it, but I will get up and say that it's actually not that bad. And I saw the sequel, which was all Damodar.
Which was all Damodar, dude. It
was all Damodar all day. That's all it was.
They put all of their CGI budget into those 3 beholders for the whole last of the movie. and they were all just like guard beholders. They weren't even regular ones, but like
That's
they put all
right.
their CGI.
All right, let's do it. Let's take a look at the trailer. This is Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves.
Yes.
I don't like the little trailer of the trailer thing. Like, let me just watch it. You
We're
know,
a team of thieves. And when you do this, you're bound to make enemies.
I like the unnecessarily elaborate puzzle.
Sometimes those enemies come looking for revenge.
He's landing. Dude, the acid sludge, bro. The acid sludge. Fucking good. Well, Led Zeppelin confuses the shit out of me. I feel like they're trying to be like Thor.
We help the wrong person steal the wrong thing.
I think they're trying to place it thematically within a decade, and that decade should always be the 80s if you're doing Dungeons and Dragons.
That's
But we're gonna fix it.
So how do we pull that off?
It's fine.
Oh,
Okay?
the giant spider, bro.
I really like the simple design of the Necromancer. All red with a white skull. Classic.
Fighting
It's
chance.
classic.
We're gonna need
My father
You
will
got this,
still
right?
say that
I
the
know
only
you
thing
don't.
the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings movie needs is a little.
Oh, dude, she's totally half orc. Look how buff she is. She has like kind of
Magic.
ears.
And you.
Oh, she was in It. That's what it was. That's what I saw her in.
Oh, fucking dude, the
Fucking owlbear, dude.
Great, bro.
Now there.
The fact that it's like a polar.
Oh shit,
Polar
Sam.
bear.
Horn of Orcus. That's totally what that was. Did he pick it up? That Chris Pine was holding?
There's evil here.
Bro.
Glad he's on our side.
He might be a dwarf.
I think I think Michelle Rodriguez is just hella short.
This one's dangerous.
Yeah, she's just short. Dude, the mimic looks
What
great.
Where's his thing?
Oh, dude, we
Please
got
don't
a
be right.
fucking.
They dove into a cube.
Dude, this
Yeah,
chunky
dude.
unit, bro. I love this
Love it.
badass dragon, and I know nothing about it.
I got so happy when I saw the gelatinous cube that I almost missed the displacer beast.
I'm a planner. I make plans.
All I saw was the
already made
displacer
plans,
beast
so-
at first.
If the
I
existing
didn't.
plan fails, I make
Yeah,
new
see,
plans.
she's just short.
So you make
but she's
plans
a
that
half
fail.
orc.
No.
He also plays the lute.
She's not that short.
Michelle Rodriguez.
She's
If the
less.
existing
Look,
plan fails,
she's
Well,
kind
for
of short.
half orc, she's short, is what they're saying.
She's just-
Oh well, yeah, but I'm seeing the word dwarf thrown around. I'm like, she ain't got
It's not a
dwarf.
dwarf.
No.
She's not like half orc, half dwarf.
Nah. Half
That would
human.
be a fucking crazy family reunion.
Listen, it's
It's
every
happening.
time anyone says half anything, in my mind, I always imagine that the other half is gnome.
So you're
Always.
saying this is a wizard of Thay,
Half orc,
right?
half gnome.
The red wizard of
Yeah,
Thay.
or a priest of Thay. Are they wizards?
the
of Thay? I
greatest
thought they were
evil the
priests,
world
though.
has
Oh,
ever
yeah,
known.
no, dude.
Something about that.
The all red with the skull looks so fucking.
Here,
sexy.
these are them.
Those are
That
the
was
priests.
them right there.
Those were the wizards.
These are the wizards right here. Yep.
I think it's a cult. Right
A dwarf? Yeah, she's totally a
So
dwarf.
how do we pull that off? Figure it out over.
I'm just down to watch a bunch of heroes like try and beat up a
Because
necromancer.
I think he has a
Use
loot.
strength. You got this, right?
I know you.
It's like,
don't.
is he a rogue or is he a?
Yeah, they play it like he's a rogue for most of the trailer, and then
Magic.
loot at
Hey,
the
the
end.
sword that splits into a dagger is fucking sick.
Also, the owlbear is sick. That's
He's
really
a
cool.
part of the Rothfuss school.
That's so old school. That's so old school.
Yes, I wonder if we're actually gonna get Lich action, or if Thay is just gonna sort of be, if it's just gonna be some world building of the man, like a world building reference, or if they're actually gonna be major players and we're gonna spend any time in that location.
Because Vecna, they couldn't do Vecna. Stranger Things just beat the shit out of Vecna, and like it would be too obvious.
I don't want them to do. I think, am I the only person that thinks Vecna is a boring villain
In D&D or in Stranger Things?
in Stranger Things?
I don't have Netflix. I went Team Disney Plus.
Oh, you haven't seen it. Oh, you haven't seen it. Okay, well, never mind. Then.
But I know
I've
enough
seen
about
that.
it. I know that, like,
I liked it.
fucking wyvern, dude. Dude, the teleportation.
I liked
is
it
so
too.
sick.
I was just okay. So this guy right here kind of has a Damodar vibe.
He totally does. I think he's a. He might be a Death Knight. Or
Needs that
he just might be a
Ichiban
warlock.
lipstick for men going on, and then it's good
Dude,
to go.
that sword though.
Yeah, no, the sword is dope. See, that's just it. Even if this movie turns out to be terrible, I'm gonna have a good time. Maybe knock back a couple of beers, Just like
still
watch
gonna
it.
be fun to watch.
Absolutely.
Like, yeah. It's going to be
Absolutely.
spectacular, whether
Chunky
it's
dragon.
spectacularly good or spectacularly not as good as you hope. You know what I
I
mean?
hope that it will
Like,
be spectacularly just like this.
Dude, the fucking wands. That wand was so heavy metal, man.
Give me
Like there
that.
were so many good things about that movie, and then there was just yeah. Green flame break.
Green Flame.
That's
Vecna is my favorite villain in Dungeons and Roses.
Guns N' Roses.
Dungeons and
Love
Roses.
that fucking band.
All right. Welcome to the dungeon.
Dude, I've listened to that song.
I'm glad he's on our side.
So he's totally a fighter, if not the road.
Oh, they got a whole
There was. I'm
party.
trying to get the
Right.
gelatinous
No,
cube up in
bro.
here. Yeah, it was during this this arena fight.
to dive into the
Time
cube.
of,
Dangerous.
Mimic. The mimic looks so good. It looks so good. I love the like the weird biological detail on the inside of the treasure chest. You know, making it look like a creature. That's sick. And I really hope that we get like a mimic. What's the word? Like where they throw you off completely. Where like you see like the camera really clearly focuses on like a box, and you're like, oh, that box is a mimic, and then the box is actually a container, and then like the chair next to it eats the guy as he opens the box or something. Like they totally give you the double take.
There's the lamp the whole time. Yeah, dude, I didn't even notice the fucking gelatinous cube. I just saw the.
Oh yeah.
the whole
It's
time.
like a classic one with a skeleton in there and everything.
Oh, you could really see her tail the way that you have it paused right now.
Oh, you're right. You're right. There's the tiefling tail right there too.
Yeah. That rat tail.
God.
You're right. It was the entire thing was building to that, and then everything after that was fully downhill. The blood
my
from the
old buddy.
sky. Oh, hey.
To summon the dragons, man. To summon back the dragon. Or did he want to turn? No, the second movie fucking blew.
He wanted to
its
use the
like,
princess as a puppet to rule the dragons. I think.
He wanted to have, he wanted to have sex with the princess to have a dragon.
Whoa! Well, I didn't think it was okay.
No, that was
I
for
thought it was a
Heinrich.
political
That was
thing.
for Heinrich. That was another D&D movie. Yeah.
The
With
material
fucking-
component of the ritual. That's all.
Displacer
Oh,
beast
look
is
at
sick.
that Displacer Beast.
Yeah.
It's such a good pause.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
another good shot of her
The
tail
other
right
guy-
there.
The other guy
You
has
can
to
really
be
see her
the
tiefling tail
sorcerer
there.
or the cleric. He's either the sorcerer or the cleric.
Oh, there you
he
go.
Fucking shot off arcane bolts, bro. Dude,
Man,
look at
I'm pausing in all the right places right now. Look at this. We got the owl bear. I like her
That's
little
really
finger
fucking insane,
dealy
man.
for doing the bad magic, the Thay magic.
All right, gentlemen. I gotta call it a night.
Oh, no problem, man. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. It is
It's
getting
early in the
getting
week.
late over there.
That's true. It is
Would you
another
mind
blockbuster
watching
time.
one
But
last
again,
trailer with us before you go?
I will. That's fine. I got time. Can always do
Awesome.
one more.
Unfortunately, Dr. Holocron is not the Sandman trailer. I forgot about that one, and I'm going to react to that on Grizzled Wizard and give it a proper shakedown. But I do have.
I watched that earlier today. I am so excited for that.
Tilda Swinton is Lucifer, bro. I'm down.
This is Phil Tippett's Mad God trailer, and I just watched this for the first time the other day. This is Phil Tippett is one of the OG special effects pioneers. He designed the Rancor, did a bunch of Star Wars effects, Jurassic Park effects. Like you've seen his work. This is his like stop motion horror masterpiece, and it looks crazy terrifying. And I'm trying to just get more people to be aware of it. So this is what we've got. Check
Big
this out.
throw into 20.
I get Fallout vibes also.
Oh, so the whole thing is like this?
Yeah, stop motion.
Oh, it's like alien stop motion.
World War I aesthetic on that guy's gear.
Magnum opus.
Metro vibes, kind of.
Yeah, but the Toro, bro.
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling like.
It's got such like a Ray Harryhausen kind of like. I don't know, there's something dated about it, even though it's totally contemporary.
Oh no, it's great. Wow.
Can't wait.
That looks really good.
Oh shit! That gave me goosebumps a little bit.
Yeah, no, it's I can't wait to see it. It's going to be a really terrifying experience. I think it's going to be kind of harrowing, kind of an ordeal. But that's what I look for in an art film. So I'm into it. Yes,
Bard,
you're right. The first D&D was
barbarian,
about Red Raw.
druid, paladin, sorcerer for the D&D party.
Okay, yeah, Chris Pine, Michelle Rodriguez.
Probably the guy with the 2 swords that they're like, ooh, I'm glad we're on his side.
Right, not the green
Goes
fire
up
blade,
and
but the
wrecks
guy he was with.
Chop on all the bad guys. Yeah, paladin.
And then sorcerer is
doing
going to be
his
the guy with
paladin
the
fighter
Demodar
thing.
Who's
vibe.
throwing the arcane bolts? Yeah.
Right. I can't wait. I cannot wait. Cool. Well, thanks for having
Thanks for having me, man.
Thanks for having yourself on the podcast. And I swear I know how to speak English. This has been a lot of fun. We got to do this again.
I got to talk to you guys anyway so that we can do some pre-production stuff about.
Yeah, dude, we still need to figure out what day of the week to even try to do shit on. I'm hoping Sundays nights or something.
That's gonna be a whole thing because Dungeons and Dragons, otherwise known as schedules and conflicts.
Yeah, exactly. We'll figure it out.
We will make it happen, and we'll find a time that and it's gonna be a little bit different too. We would post up for like 4 hours and just do a long extended session, old school.
Yeah.
And we're gonna be doing it in live sessions. We're gonna be doing it right here on Twitch. If you are watching on Twitch, because I know this is actually broadcasting in multiple places.
Yep.
And so that might also affect how long we play for.
Twitter people, shout out to the Twitch people.
Yep. Like, subscribe, do all that stuff.
Absolutely. And one final shout out before you go to our man Anakin Skywalker here, who's also been here since the beginning.
Yes, Anakin Skywalker and Spencer Pollock. Keep it up, Spencer. I am not going to take your ideas, but keep throwing them out there, because here's the thing: is that I
like where your head's at.
All of my ideas for season 1 ahead of time, just like I have for season 2, which is why I said your suggestions are going filed under future ideas for a different campaign that won't be on YouTube. But all of my ideas for season 1 were come up with ahead of time. And when the first episode posted, he's like, you got to have a harch. And in the second session, they meet a harch that I already had planned for months ahead of time. Then you immediately turn around and go, you need to have a Salvax sniper. And Zeef was like, I want my crew of old crime buddies to come after me. And they were all aquatic guys. And on that list were Moncal Demolitionist, Quarren with a flamethrower, and Salvax Sniper.
Fucking
sharks are the bosses.
Sharks
are the bosses. Yeah.
Still, aquatic, like...
All aquatic guys. The
Spencer's watching, being like, I'm getting everything I'm asking for. It's like, so but you got it 2 years before you asked for it.
Already planned. So... But that's the thing, is that I'm an arachnophobe. So the spider was supposed to be a one-off anyway, and then he's getting flushed down the drain. But just the fact that went back to my Pablo Hidalgo paranoia, came back all around to bring it back to the brain machine before I signed off, is that first Mandalorian start aping my stuff, and then as soon as we start putting the season on YouTube, which had been taped months and months in advance, because it didn't air until it was already finished taping. So it was already done before it even aired. And you start asking for things that I had already done and filmed months before. And you're like, you should do this. And I'm like, I already did months ago.
It's a bit like someone mailing you a Polaroid of you just going about your day.
Yeah. So log out of the Gmail, because it's only supposed to be accessible to members of the campaign or whatever. But
your Google Drive is just fully public right now.
Keep watching,
rifling through your notes.
It's really a thing. That's for damn sure. All right.
That's a great suggestion. I love Louise. She's great. I will reach out to her, see if she's interested. On that that note, it's been great having you on here.
Guys.
Beware the brain machine, and he's gone.
Just like that. Proof of smoke, just like a proper DM. Thank you, everyone, again for hanging out with us this evening. It was really fun kind of getting into it was more hype and preemptive ice ball. Well, not ice ball. I can't call it that anymore. It's Star Wars.
Well, it's still ice ball. It's ice ball until this season finishes airing. And then we've got a new name.
And then we need to come up with a new name. Shit.
Well, we have come up with a new name. The new name exists, but
I don't
it's a
remember what it was. It's so long.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Everything is like a year plus ago, and we had a whole discussion about it, and we picked out a name. And then, now it's good though, because now you get to be surprised along with the audience. So, yeah, no. Have a good night, Jake. Thanks for tuning in. This has been fun. It was really cool getting to talk to Lurch because I don't know. It became quite a big part of the routine, sitting down playing
On
that
Saturdays.
game. Yeah, every Saturday.
It was a Saturday afternoon thing. Yeah.
For over a year. And even though a lot of time has passed, like when we can get all of us back in the room, getting David back in the room.
Quarantine. We were on fucking quarantine.
Yeah, we were. We were in the middle of lockdown. You're able to just
one.
fall back into it though. And
The first one. Yeah.
I'm very much looking forward to getting back into it, especially now that we've got a new D&D movie. I want to get a new D&D game going as well. That would, yeah, at least play a one shot. Just any excuse to roll some dice and like do some imagination
That's
stuff.
true.
The dark side of the force is the pathway to many
Currently
abilities.
experimenting with like I said, an RPG that uses a system called it's
Mutants and Mayhem. Is that what you said?
Mayhem, yeah. So it's
Mutants and
like
Mayhem.
D&D, but it's for superheroes. And I'm playing like a Dr. Orpheus, like Doctor Strange from the 40s kind of character. So we've only had 2 sessions so far, but I like the system. It's all purely on a D20 scale though. So like trying to figure out the numbers is weird, but yeah, it's again, like force power wise, it's about using your powers to manipulate the environment to affect the person you're fighting versus purely just using your abilities on said person you're fighting. You know what I'm saying?
Is it Mutants and Masterminds?
Yes.
Okay,
What I
Masterminds.
say, Mutants and Mayhem.
But
yes.
totally, yeah, no, fighting you using your surroundings that way.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, cool. So Sam's heard of it before. Yeah, no, that sounds pretty cool
It's
too,
cool.
actually.
Interesting.
I
It's-
can't wait.
Jeez.
Well, it is hot as balls this week. I could just say that as an umbrella statement because it's hotter for you than it is for me. But it is hot
yeah,
for me.
but
this
we're
week.
the same. We're both in the 90s right now, which is fucking
Okay,
weird.
okay. I just sort of assume in my head I like add on about 10 degrees to your location based on where I'm
At
at.
least, but normally, yeah. Like if it's a normal Seattle 70s day, then yes, then you could.
But like if it's in the 90s, that's a Seattle 100.
Yeah.
Like
90s.
it's
So
rough.
like last year, Ren Fair, August Seattle, second weekend, it was 91. So like that's the highest that it'll get. So the week,
Dude, I almost lost my life in a porta potty at that Ren Fair. It was so hot. All right.
Yeah, and now I feel like after being here, when I go back over there next year to visit you guys and go to Ren Fair in August, I'm gonna be like, 91. This is fucking nothing.
Yeah, no, you're gonna come back and just be
What
like,
does that feel like? Yeah, no, that's the opposite though. Like I have no recollection of what 76 feels like or what 60 degree. Like the concept of cold to me isn't the same anymore. After
you're like Frodo halfway up Mountain Doom. You're like, I can't recall the taste of food, the smell of grass. Like
exactly.
there's nothing left except for you and the Ring of Fire known as Arizona.
Yeah, dude. It's so fucking but yeah, like the monsoons last night, it was so weird. I was like looking outside.
Yeah, you tweeted about that. There was like thunder and lightning.
I should have taken a video, but like it was heavy rain. It was like it was almost like what I would imagine Florida would be like, with how heavy the rain was. Like the whole backyard got flooded, and
we had monsoons in New Zealand, or near enough.
It was intense. It was surprising. Everyone.
I like heavy rain.
Everyone kept hyping it up, and they were like, "Oh, I bet it rained so much in Seattle." It's like, yeah, but not like that.
Well, that's a common misconception that
Seattle has
it's
mist.
like, it doesn't dump rain here.
Seattle
It just rains all the time, but it's not a lot of rain. You know,
it's drizzle. Whereas here,
an average of 39 inches.
Fat ass raindrops, and they're like, "What the fuck? Is there a tropical storm outside? What's happening?"
Yeah, I would rather have a tropical storm. It sounds nice.
It was weird.
It's been very dry right now. All right, well, we are talking about the weather, which means we've officially run out of steam for Dork Forces episode number 15. Thank you so much for watching, everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
This
all.
was a really fun conversation. Shout out to Lurch, who had to go because he lives in the future, where it's really late at night.
Same with getting Savage Silver Star for a hot minute there. That was great.
Absolutely. Yes. When you guys replay this later, thank you for coming on. This was awesome. And thank you to everybody watching and keeping us going, even though we're just a couple of nerds here rambling to each other.
Horses. But yeah, but that's what brings you in. Like this is a familiar space.
Glad to hear it.
This is more than just Star Wars, but at the same time, it is Star Wars. But it's all things Dork. So, yes, thank you again, everyone. You can follow us, catch us on social media.
You made a very good point just now. This is not just. I mean, I know that the name is a riff off of Star Wars, but this isn't just a Star Wars podcast. This is a nerd podcast, and so every once in a while, we're going to be talking about Dungeons and Dragons. House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones, whatever is relevant at the moment.
We're gonna have to talk about that next week. So
House of the Dragon.
Totally gonna be talking about House of the Dragon shit. Also, as a reminder, it is July 26th, which means we barely have like a week until Andor starts. So tune in.
We have a month.
A month. I thought it was August
31st.
Oh fuck me! I thought it was like August 3rd.
No, but we do have Light and Magic is starting up on Wednesday.
Well, maybe that's what I was thinking. But yeah,
so we're gonna watch the ILM, and then at the end of the month we're gonna do Andor. But it's fucking creeping up on us. And Tales of the Jedi is coming this year too. So like, holy shit, dude! There's a lot of content still on its way. Actually,
yep.
We're gonna have our hands
all that Marvel shit that they dropped on us during at San Diego Comic-Con. So yeah, stay tuned next week because we're gonna talk about a lot of hype train.
I have fucked up my shoulder. I messed it up, and so I can't do a whole lot of two-handed activities, which means I'm going to be sitting in this chair and just watching stuff and recording it nonstop. And tomorrow, first things up is the House of the Dragon trailer, which I haven't seen yet. I'll be reacting to that. Reacting to Sandman. Excuse me. There's a Black Panther. What have you? There's all this stuff that came out at Comic-Con. So I'm going to be doing all of that tomorrow. Oh yeah, and people will be happy to hear this. Avatar: The Last Airbender. The Netflix film, watching that tomorrow too.
You mean the regular Shyamalan film?
Netflix the Shyamalan one, yeah, everyone's favorite one.
Hasn't made their shit yet.
Well, it's on Netflix. I thought it was. Oh, I guess I thought it was an original, but I guess no. Okay.
Negative.
Well,
just M. Night Shyamalan being an asshole.
Well, I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna give it a fair shake. I know everyone loves that movie so much. So
great.
We'll see.
It's national treasure.
Well, thanks everyone. And as always,
may the force